Yo! What's good, everybody? How y'all doing? What is today? It's a Wednesday. It's hump day. Happy hump day to you all. It's been far too long. It's been over a month. Been pretty upset about it. We have so much to catch up on. So much to catch up on. All right, who's here? Let's scroll back up here. Saffron, you were first. Welcome in. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for the sub. Let me turn this down some more in the background here. Blazin Beats, you're here. Appreciate you. Liv, you're here. Appreciate you. Good to see you. Zendremic, good to see you. Appreciate you. Acute is here. Thank you for the sub. In spirit, you are here. Welcome in. And who else is here? This is a lot of scrolling, you guys. Eileen, welcome in. You are here. And yes, it is a feedback stream. For everyone who brought tracks, please drop them in the Discord. Serwin or Kerwin? Serwin? Kerwin. Welcome in. Always nice to have someone here for the very first time. I'm going to put the Discord link here. We've been gone for a month. All right, so let's do some catching up really quick. I'm going to turn this down a bit more. I made a bunch of kind of serious background music for the portfolio as I've been circling, waiting to be able to do all of the normal things as I normally do. For those who have not kept up in the Discord, we were basically made homeless for a month. Well, we weren't like out on the streets or anything. We were at hotels. We were without our home for a month because a sewer pipe was broken outside of our home. And oh my goodness, there's just so many ooptastic stories to tell you. Long story short, we had a neighbor lived next door to us, moved months ago. Sold their place and moved. Well, he had actually been renting the place, so we never really knew this guy. But he came back, he flipped his place, and he left. Well, it turns out that prior to him selling his place, he failed a sewer line inspection and then wanted to not hassle with all of the time and expense of getting permits and talking with the city and stuff. So went in overnight, ninja action, broke our pipe, fixed his, put himself in a brand new driveway to cover up the whole thing, and sold the house and left. And no one was really the wiser. We were all just kind of wondering why he put a new driveway in. And wow. Months later, things just aren't acting quite right with the plumbing in our house. Just suddenly, right? One evening, weird noises in the pipes in the walls, and the toilet's not draining for some reason, having not really been used, and of course, troubling, right? But it's late at night when this is discovered, in the middle of the night. So next morning, really unsure how to approach the plumbing situation, and I'm downstairs like checking stuff out, and someone upstairs flushes the toilet and it drains the downstairs toilet. And I was like, oh no. Like, I am not a plumber and I am not that smart with these types of things, but doesn't that break the rules? This doesn't seem good. and had someone come out and take a look. They're like, something very odd is happening. And then it just quickly escalated from there. It went from kind of a simple head scratcher of like, are you sure you didn't have a really big poop, to something's terribly wrong here, I think, to, oh gosh, you guys need to move. Oi. It took him a month to fix this thing. Like, they are finally not actually out there working right now. And at north of 30 grand a day, like with all their heavy equipment and stuff, like, man, that dude that saved himself a little bit of time before. Oh, I think he's gonna get the biggest bill ever, man. Wow. Okay, so we are now back in our place. Water runs, it goes down the drains just fine. And we can exist normally again. So yay, live streams are back. Yeah. And I had just come back from being away for a few weeks, if I remember correctly. My mother had passed, and I had been doing a bunch of family time stuff. And then the sewer thing happened. So it's just been a bit of a whirlwind over here. So it's really good to just be back, and I'm glad that it all finished in time for us to be done with it by the end of the year, so we can kick this year to the curb together and just move on. And hopefully 2025 will be different than 2024 has been. I don't know what to say about it, honestly. Yeah, I have no words for that neighbor either. Like, there were so many people in this neighborhood who were like standing around looking down. Like, we're talking 10 feet down in the middle of a street. There's like a dozen people working. This guy caused so much trouble. So much trouble. I want to say his name out loud. I want to say all sorts of things. Oh, but yeah, I want to say, yeah, I want 2025 to be different, but or better, you know. But I don't. Yeah, I just don't know what to expect from 2025. Try not to have expectations. Just want it to be different than this has been. Goodness. Yeah, so anyway. Alright, that's behind us. So, what have you guys been up to? There's been talk of like albums being completed and stuff. Liv says, did you know you can just not think about the future? I do it all the time. That is actually a pretty good skill to have. Pretty good. Hermitem, official. Welcome in. Happy hump day to you. I'm alive. Clochard, you are here. Yeah, right? In the last many years, learn to not have expectations. When you have lower expectations, you have less upset and less disappointment. It's like the old SNL skit from the early mid-90s, Lower Expectations. Stuart Smiley. It's good stuff. Or no, wait, that was Daily Affirmations with Stuart Smiley. But Lower Affirmations was like a sidekick to that skit. So. Yeah, right. Smoke weed and think about the now as much as possible. Right? Yeah, absolutely. That is top tier for the reals. All right, so what to report? There's been a series of delays on the development side with the Sounds Marketplace. So when last I saw you guys, I was like, oh, we're just about ready to release this thing. This thing's so exciting. It still has not been released. So we're in a holding pattern with that until further notice. All the content's there, and most of the bells and whistles are working, but there are still just a few things that need to be squished and pushed and moved around. What else? Audio design desk has been updated to 2.1. Some new bells and whistles there. Yeah. Oh, Lowered Expectations was in Living Color? Yeah, I get my stuff confused. So, I mean, back then you had pretty good quality skits from Living Color, Kids in the Hall, and SNL. Like, it was actually a pretty good time for the live comedy thing on TV back then. That's pretty good. Homie, don't play that. Seriously though, like if you look at that little snapshot of time, there are still so many of those people from those circles that are like dominant in the movie scene, huh? Wow, that's wild. Lord Michaels, man, just grows them. All right. What else do I have to update you guys on? Da, 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 da. There are lots of free things to go grab over at Ghost Hack right now. So go to Ghost Hack and grab free things. Click on the Advent calendar thing. We'll do it together. There's some free stuff that you can grab from me in here. A couple of different sound packs in here from me. I can't tell you which days. I have not been able to keep up with them all, but look at that. They've left all the links live. So you can actually go through and just crush this. Just absolutely crush this. Look at this. No one's sitting on Santa's lap this year. Santa's playing a synthesizer. He's like, can't hear you kids. I got headphones on. All right. Yeah, make sure you're grabbing these each day. There's a couple of good ones in here from me. I forget what they are now. There's one that's okay, so there's one that's title hits. Oh, there's a bunch of like big like cinematic hits. Like 100 of them. And then there's another one that's a smaller pack. It's like 35 drones, I think. Yeah. It's been a lot this last month. So, do you guys want a sneak peek? I haven't really shown you too much of the sneak peek action, but look, I'll just really quick. It's such a good thing. It's not quite performing in all of the ways that it should, but it's getting there. It's getting there. All right. Nano's here. What's up, Ben? How you doing, man? How are things on the right coast? I'm back. Santa has not been answering my calls, and I now know why. He has an AI assistant. Thank you, Zen. I now know why. All right, can we go to, what's it called? Discord? And click on the things and see what people have put over here? Oh, man. When is this? This is December 18th, and this says Nana was here on December 10th. Who else was here earlier? November 13th. Man, yeah, it's been a month. I can't believe it. It's just been a month. You know, you love your family so much, and having just a room for everyone for a month is a lot. But I'm proud of the family because nobody got at each other's throats or anything. It's good. I mean, as good as it can be, right? Given the situation. We have so many poop puns. Oh. Oh, so you're in LA now. You're calling it the best coast. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The right coast versus the best coast. We've brought that back again, have we? Yeah. Yeah. All right, so we should listen to this piece of art here that was left here by nanowires on December 10th, 2024. It's documented right here. Dumbass shit. V4. What's a coast, says Liv, right? Come on out, we'll show you. But fair warning, if you do come out here, we will abduct you, and you will never return to landlocked hell over there. So there is that. Finish school first, I think. Something. All right. Discord. Nano's going to send us to Dropbox here. Let's see what he made. Okay, this item was deleted. He doesn't like us. He doesn't want us to see it. I forgot how this whole thing works. I need to put this window over here a little bit. And then I need to switch over to these. Oh gosh. Let me just close a bunch of different. Man. All right. All right, who's next in line then? Cute. Broken toys. Wow, we get to start with some acute. Lucky are we. All right. Can't play it, Ben, but if you post a new link, I will play it. Cute. Let's do this. Broken toys. Man, I hope you've been well. It's going to be great hearing you. Let's roll. right as I'm typing something about sustained bass, that sustained bass ending, that outro there was like a really cool decision there. It was like almost kind of ghostly, almost. Um, yeah, that was cool. Um, not surgically. But... All right. Couple of things. First, it's really, really good to hear you. Um, Second, this palette that you've cooked up for this one um, is super fine. Like it's really, really choice. And three, the artwork continues to just really, really, really please. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, lovely intro. Really supercharged synth there with that lead. And like just in general, the energy that you've captured in the sounds in particular, like it feels like you spent some time making sure that there's movement and development and evolution happening. Um, and then once you saturate and compress those things, it's cooking. Um, they feel really, really good together. There is some sort of alchemy happening within this palette here. All right, so a little less compression on the mix in general and a little more saturation glue would be preferred. Um, just because I think the sounds are really, really lush, and I think that using compression in the way that you do on the sounds, like as a sound sculpting measure, is fantastic. But I'm not sure that I really want you to move against the edges of these sounds anymore. I almost want them kind of like either defined or feathered more. You know what I mean? Um, I'd let especially the top of everything be as much as possible. Uh, okay, so these sustained elements, and this will kind of come back here towards the end with the sub stuff, but you're using a bit more drone action, which I think is great, right? A little bit more sustaining of notes for a little bit longer, freezing tails. The the sub has been doing this for quite some time in your music. Um, but this is, I feel like there's a slight shift here. It's bringing a little bit more like almost cinematic depth um, and definitely tension uh, to stuff, which is great because it leaves so many opportunities for release. And with this really progressive um, uh, I guess, soup that you cook in general. Uh, I think that plays well together. All right, so I would also say you can kind of lean into this same kind of cinematic architecture, right? With the drones and stuff, you can use transition effects like suckbacks, really, really short ones, right? Just like half second, quarter second ones. You slip them in there where there's some short stop notes. It'll really accent those moments and really kind of put a point on the fact that you're playing with time here for us and stuff. I really like these rapid fire stabs. In my mind, it immediately went to what if you used some MIDI effects, just simple note repeats on that synth, just like use some automation to flip an effect like that on and off so you get a bit more rapid fire. Um, Man, it's just good to hear you throughout the song. So many good decisions being made. Um, okay, so mix wise, kind of going back to you using a bit more of these sustained elements up here, I feel like if you use a little less sustained elements in the sub, more attention will be brought to both the sub and the elements that is accenting when it is being used. When multiple things are being sustained simultaneously, it is hard to also then maintain focus on like transient sharp stuff when a sub is one of those droning elements. There's reasons for it, but it is just kind of taxing, fatiguing to keep track of it. So when that cuts out and then it comes back, it grabs our attention anew, basically, right? So the more often you can do that, the more it kind of re-triggers its effect on us, right? So you can really kind of hone in on that, I think, and it'll bolster this movement into this like a bit more focus on tension and release and hold and stuff like that. So let's see what the chat is saying. I've been ignoring you guys. I forgot how this all works. We love jazz soup, right? Right? 808 Diffraction is here. Welcome in, homie. Welcome back, Legend. Hope you've been good. Can't stay, but want to say what up? What up? Ooh, turn the B section into a stutter house thingy. That would be pretty sick. Yeah, right? Yeah, I just think that, you know, if we're talking about the MIDI effects type thing, I just think that something like that is really, really simple to do. And simple usually means like it's a really good thing to explore, right? Dude, it's good to have you back too. I know you haven't gone anywhere, but in my world, it's good to have you back. All right, Liv. What have you been up to? All right, Liv says, one of the tracks I'm working on right now that I think I'd like to find a vocalist for. I didn't originally write the song for a vocalist, but I like the simplicity of its instrumentation, and I think a vocal would top it off nicely. Okay. Untitled for now. Beautiful art. Let's do this. Man, this is lovely. This is lovely. It feels light. It's moving forward the whole time. There's definitely an organic flow to this. The keys and the intro, they tickle just right with all the resonance. And as that fades, like I really want to hear this moment again. Those just getting soothed and then going wet. Yeah, it's a good moment. If you were to EQ a low end or a low shelf cut or shelf roll off as that fade is occurring, so it becomes more light and airy and ethereal, probably translate even more. Nice vocal play. Really good chop choice. Good pace. It's good playful stuff, honestly. Our Horizon is here. Respect the gazelle. Thank you so much, Omi. Good to see you. At 204, I would personally put a nested delay in here to upset the timing of these echoes. The first time through is great. The second time through is almost as great. I would love for the second time through to be even greater, and then the third time through be even greater still, right? And then all of that kind of fade down to nothing. But if you were to go in here and listen to this moment, so all of the points that we can hear right now would still be there, right? But there would be some less dominant, more diffused echoes occurring outside of that time structure, which would make it a little less predictable, a little more perhaps ethereal, floaty. I think it would play to the sense of time that you're kind of beating on here. A nested delay is when you have one delay and you have another one coming after it in your effects chain. I've shown this with delays and reverbs, right? It gives you extra dimension. It really opens things up, especially when you introduce it over time, right? So if the first time through this cycle, your delay is what it is, the second time through, it's picking up the OG signal and the first delayed signal is being processed through this other delay, right? And then that continues to cook each iteration. So if this cycles through like 3 times, 4 times total, you can have that on a fade out for like the last couple or something like that. So it doesn't continue to build in entropy or like chaos or whatever and take over in any way, but you can get more atmospheric kind of matched ambience, from all of that. Needs a little more chaos. Well, that's where the feedback comes in, right? So like if you were to increase your feedback, probably not time, right? When you manipulate time in real time, you start to blur sound, so it kind of streaks and demands too much attention. But if you play with just the feedback, you can get some really interesting things, especially if you kind of start to swell that. If you get your timing just right, you can send through big kind of waves of feedback that crash into other waves of feedback that are repeating. It's fun. Use a little like multi-tap kind of thing. I would explore in that spot right there. Nothing too like overt, but definitely play, I think. And then at 240, this moment I feel like would feel better to me if there was just a little bit more release. So it wouldn't be anything big because you don't have a whole bunch of space or time to work with there, right? And what you have there is lovely. So I would say it's probably going to be some sort of like a rushing uh, whoosh that doesn't have a lot of overhang after the point of transition, right? So it's just like this little right at the very end. Folk Nero! Respect the gazelle. Thank you, homie. Hype train incoming. Wow, they've changed our little alert here. It's nice and yellow. It's lovely. Folk Nero, we are here. Yes, yes, please. Please. I would love to hear what you've been up to. And you also said you did some music too while I was away, right? How am I here? We are here. The city is done fixing the pipes out there. It took a month. It's been so long. Oh my goodness. So long. Okay, so little whoosh there. But you can add a little bit of tension in a number of different ways. It doesn't have to be anything that interferes musically, right? It could absolutely be something process oriented, like a swell of saturation or verb or whatever it is, right? It could be detuning of something. It could be any number of things that you can do on a kind of a subtle level, right? To just kind of introduce this feeling of imminence. Yeah. How's the mix? I think the mix feels really good right now. And I feel like this, I don't want it to deviate from where it is very much because there's definitely this feeling of kind of open, upward release more than expansiveness, I think. And I really like that. It feels like everything is very free to continue going up. I like the pulsing kind of throb that's running through it, and how like the interplay with the vocal play stuff is absolutely fantastic. So I would not want the mix to be altered too much from where it is right now, personally. It's translating. Like I can tell there's a lot of attention to detail, and also I feel like we found some really good stopping points. And you know the rule. Like when you find a good stopping point, you stop, right? This art is so good. All right, Zendremic, you are here. Let's hear you. It's for you. Phone call from the sea. Ooh. Let's do this. Dude, Syndromic, this is great. Um, I think the texture and the room that you're giving everything, like room both in tempo and in frequency and stereo space. Um, it's great. I like the simplicity. The the less is more effect is pretty profound, and I think Liv nailed it when she said, "Yeah, the understatement is superb." Yeah, I agree. Okay, so the sub, I feel like it's just running its own program or something in the first half of this. It reminds me a lot of when back in the day you'd be watching something. It was especially noticeable when you were watching like a music video or listening to music and you were really following it like in a movie or something. You're watching something on VCR and all of a sudden you get these like sub bass kind of pulses and it's absolutely just a byproduct of the machine operating, but it would affect everything. And like that's such a pleasant thing. Like Boards of Canada does a really, really good job of capturing stuff like that. Like this was good. I liked your use of um, the tuning and the timing being just off from the rest. Like so good, so good. Stopping points with saturation were really really nice. I felt like super comfy at 220. Um, Subtle detuning on the delay tails is really nice. It keeps us all just a little bit more unsure about like what is happening and what's coming next, which is really nice. It's a good place to be in. Um, and this moment here, where in the second half it feels like things just start kind of meandering, um, which is great. It's like we go through this idea over here and then we come out of it and it's like, okay, well now we're just gonna like hold hands and go for a walk over here, and the keys and the drums are like just doing their thing, and it's like I think they're just dancing around the texture. Like how did that feel? How did that feel? I don't know, it feels kind of playful. I feel like there's some missing animation here, you know. Maybe it's all the Adventure Time I've watched over the years or something, but I feel like there's some missing animation that we're just not aware of yet. Okay, and also I just want to kind of point out the detail work that you're doing with your volume mixing right now. Position placement of different elements in the stereo field is really, really great. I think that the subtle stutter, um, is like just one really good example. But the attention to detail on the levels is super appreciated. Kind of reminds me of one of those kind of find it pictures, you know, where you've got like a busy landscape and you're trying to find that one thing, looking at it for a while, and you're like, I don't know if it's here. Like 3 minutes later, you finally see it. It's kind of like that. You've got this kind of menagerie. The palette isn't too busy, but you've got just enough differences occurring each time a new measure comes along with the timing and placement of each element. It's great. It's great. Lots of discovery in this one. Yeah, absolutely. Serwin Corvus is saying there's some storytelling here. I feel like there's something small, exploring, or lost, immersed in an atmosphere of things that are rigid and almost foreboding. Yeah. Yep, that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think we're all kind of hitting on the same thing here. Hey, Danny's here. Yo, imagine it. It's good to see you, Danny. I mean, they can't see you, but I can see you. You're looking good, by the way. Um, Takes a couple of listens to kind of adjust for the mood. Yeah, I'm in it. I like it. I like it. I like your stopping points, homie. I think this one feels really nice. I think the thing I appreciate it most is the volume mix here and just seeing the variety in the peaks and valleys here in your waveform and knowing just kind of you know, how organic everything felt as it was playing through. Absolutely. All right. Ailey? Oh, just got to call it though. Oh, Far Horizon. Sending you healing vibes, homie. Syndremic, thank you for the awesome music, dude. Absolutely. All right, I'll start to wait. That's a good name for a track. I like that.
With you, I'm always on the winning side. What makes you think that they could change my mind? I'm always racing to the finish line. And we're going somewhere they won't ever find. And when the time comes, will you be there for me? Will you be there for me? When everything's wrong, will you be my peace? Or will you be my peace? And when the time comes, will you be there for me? And tell me everything. Will you be there for me? I gotta be careful with these violent thoughts inside my mind. They could control me if I don't do what they say on time. Do what they say on time. And when the time comes, will you be there for me? Will you be there for me? When everything's wrong, will you be my peace? Or will you be my grace? And when the time comes, will you be there for me? And tell me everything. Will you be there for me? When everything's wrong, will you be my peace? And will you ride for me? Or will you be my peace? Start to wait.
Yeah, yeah. This is good. And I think that this is also a great idea here in the chat. Danny's saying maybe get some wicked scratchy voice recordings for some sound designy stuff. Yep, yep, yep. Yep, yep. Warp it, pitch it, says Syndremic. Yep, 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 yep. That is a cool idea. I really like the vocal play here in the intro and outro, especially. I think that in the middle there's some space for you to continue. 106, I'm thinking to myself, the vocal pad is great. It'd be awesome if you were to start layering now, right? Different iterations of that at different pitches and bringing them in and out together, I think could probably make a pretty phenomenal and inviting background for whatever you get up to next in this thing. Hmm? Hmm. Mm-hmm. Indeed. Indeed. Man, it's so good to hear you guys again. And you know the best part about this is that Wednesday streams, I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a long time since I've been here. Uh, aren't they production streams? Like, isn't Friday feedback streams? Like, we get to hear more of you guys this week. It's pretty fantastic. Crusoe. Oh, I guess I didn't really complete my thoughts on this. Mix-wise, I think I like where it's sitting. I regardless of where you go with the vocal stuff and exploring the other ideas that were tossed out, I hope you don't deviate too far from the simplicity of the guitar that's kind of backing this whole thing. I guess that's my other thoughts on this track, because I think that there is a magic in that level of simplicity. So, Book Nero, excellent, excellent. We will get to those. We'll listen to those. Did you include some music as well as sound effects in there? Ba-dum, 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 says Crusoe. Boke Nero! Appreciate you, homie. Look at you kicking down. Everybody that just got a sub, go grab sounds. I'm not even sure what's over there right now. This is all part of getting back into the swing of things. I got to get a new sound pack up for you guys. So go double dip, all you guys. Boke, you're awesome. You're awesome. We'll get to your stuff in just a moment here. This is Crusoe with ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Let's do this. Crusoe. Playing it again here. I really like this. Yeah, I just wanted to hear it again. I didn't have a problem with it or anything. I mean, it's short. That kind of bothers me. But the rest of it I really like. Nice swell there at the beginning. Sorry, this artwork from Techo. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Can I do this here? Wait, how do I? Hold on a second. There we go. Can you see this artwork from Techo here? You see this monkey with the headphones on? And just chilling, legs crossed, looking at the iPad. All right, anyway. These hats are like little ninja assassins carrying sharp scissors. It's like an extra crispy recipe here, homie. It's freaking just... Yeah, that is the end. I was enjoying it too. Right, Primatemp? I'm like, dude, 57 seconds, my ass. Make this thing longer, dude. Come on. Ooh. Oh, nice, Boke. Excellent. Boke Nero saying he sent stuff to the DMs as well as to this queue. We're going to dip over there really quick and we're going to take a listen. He's been cooking up some pretty serious sound effects for Roblox for quite a while now. We've been following this journey. Boke Nero. Hope you've been staying busy. Saying, I made a lot of SFX while you were gone. Let's check him out. I like this. The only thing that I would add to this or make different would be bringing in a creature noise of some kind, maybe like an elephant or a camel or something that you can get a bunch of air through those windpipes and manipulate a little bit. That whatever that was totally foreign to me. So make some kind of oh, there was a creature at the start. The red thing that spawned is yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I have no idea what that creature is, but that sound should have another creature sound layered into it, like a living, breathing creature, like a camel would be great. I think an elephant also came to mind immediately, but a bear also has like those that big chest, right? Gets a lot of air going through. Moose, caribou, they also have a whole bunch of air going through pretty quickly. Any one of those, if you were to pitch that down just a few steps and layer it in, you can probably bring a whole nother level of like, whoa, that's a really cool character to this guy. Revenge, welcome in. It's supposed to be a dragon wolf mixture, as the dev said, but they changed the model. It never asked me to change sound effects. Yeah. All right, next one. Okay, now you know that I'm going to comment on this. Like this, when we last met, I had been saying, "Oh, all of these are really great. It'd be awesome to hear a little bit more focus on the idea of velocity as a force, right, and like movement through it." That was so good. You've captured this. This is okay, so going back to the beginning of this one, also similar to the other one where I was like, hey, if you layer in a creature sound here for this creature sound that's already there, it will sound even better. The spinning attack thing here, if you just grab like I don't know, like a string and you tie a pencil to it or something like that and whip it around really quick like that and just record it with your phone and then layer that in to what you've already got there, it'll sound good. It'll sound good. Get some kind of higher pitched um, spinning thing. It'll add a whole nother. Took a micro USB charging cable. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. I mixed it with the whips from a pack. Yeah, do that again. Do one more thing like that and layer it in there. Okay, this one was fire. This one was super inspired. I love the motorcycle revving. Oh, and going back to the last one, you could just use the same whip effect that you created with the USB cable and just pitch it up like 2 steps and layer it in just slightly offset timing so it feels like there's a few different layers of something spinning around. Anyway, this one is awesome. This one has all of the finishing touches. Really good stuff. Christian, welcome in. Hope you're doing well over there. All right, next one. True Evil. Okay, so I think this one was almost as good as the last one. The only thing that could make this one better is if there was a little bit more release from what has already happened with audio before the next thing occurs. There is maybe just what's a better way of saying this? Slightly shorter decay on some of your longer running elements, like the sub pitch drop, right? That can be a little bit shorter, a little bit more succinct, and then that saves a second later, which means that this other sound isn't being crowded. So if you do that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times throughout the sequence, all of a sudden you've kind of saved a bunch of background noise, if you will, right? Some unnecessary length in some of the sounds. And all that really does is allows us to kind of catch up and mentally reset before the next big transient event occurs, right? So helping yourself get out of the way of yourself, kind of. Here's the next one. Also great. Also great. I would put this on par with maybe the first of these 3 more full action sequences. Is really good. This one right here is still ace. Okay. Bokusei and me and the team have created a new character trailer for our game, but in the form of stickmen. This took about 3 months. I did the sound effects, and my friend T made the music. Credits at the end. This time, the sound effects are not as prominent. They're more in the background. This is the official YouTube for this game channel, and it feels so awesome that almost 200,000 people on YouTube have seen our work. It just feels awesome. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, wait, so is this one this? Yeah, this one is this. Okay. Just making sure we're not missing one.
Ninja Turtles in Hero Wars. The legendary RPG
Give us what we want.
Welcomes...
There we go. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That is awesome. Roblox level up, homie. That's really great stuff. I'm just catching up on the chat here really quick. Man, that was like a magnum opus, right? Seriously, that was really good. Talking about the sound in 047. This guy. That'll get him. That'll get him. Oh, man. All right, let's see what this one is. Oh, again. Yeah. Yeah. The only thing I would say on this one is maybe volume variation. When you have a multi-attack like this, it's kind of keeping in mind the velocity and impact with the first hit versus like the second hit, or how long the sustained attack is, blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of dissecting this really quick. Playback. Okay, so it's the return sound that seems out of line for me, because the blast is pretty loud, but the return, there's not a big visual element here or anything. It seems like that should actually be coming way down in volume to match the visual here, right? So it's like big blast all open and then right? So like maybe a camera shutter being reversed, and one more element that's really short and succinct being reversed, layered in there on top of this, and have a big linear volume fade down happening simultaneously, right? So you've got these kind of sharp mechanical sounds over the top of that fade down, so it sounds like something is clasping and locking, or something that's like something's being sucked back in, and right? I think that would probably fit the visual a little bit better. Other than that, I think this whole sequence is pretty rock solid. Just the volume management in that one spot. All right, let's check out this one. Nice load sequence. Word. Okay, so the only gripe that I have on nitpick that I have on this one is that the mechanical wind-up starts before the visual wind-up. So your sound is already playing here, but the mechanical wind-up is here, right? You can see the transformation starting here. So there is this kind of moment. That it feels like it's getting started a little bit ahead of the visual. The actual sounds, though, are super great. Oh, and music. Cover made by Muloko. She's amazing at this. Yeah, this is some art. Yeah, that volume one makes sense to you? Yeah, it's really just about the volume levels of the two things, right? And just making sure that the tail end is going down. And then that sounds dropped off big blast happen. Yeah. All right, let's listen to this. Oh, that outro with that little short stop there. That's nice. I like that. It's good to hear some OhmLab. This is good stuff. Yeah, I think my thing here that I want to say is just I like how the digital and analog aesthetics have been brought together here. I like the glitch and the lush. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one too. You know, this is OhmLab has brought by music for us a handful of times. And each and every time I've been like, oh man, that's so good. Oh. And now, like for the past year, maybe I feel pretty lucky when we get it because so much time is being spent on the sound effects stuff. So I get it. I totally get it. I know exactly how it is. Yeah. Little dissonant water plugs. Yeah. Okay. Last one. This is some sound design, messing with Serum and Kontakt 7. Fate redesign. That's tasty. That's tasty, man. The only thing I'd want to see different is here, right before the big tremendous, this part right here. Some more texture here. That's pretty quiet. I get it. It's right before the big release, but here we could have something happening there, some kind of stuff. The churning of a planet. What is even happening here? Oh my gosh. Man. That's some good stuff right there. Book, you've been busy. You should rebrand to Bulk Nero because every time you stream, I come up with a bulk amount of sounds. Yeah. Oh man, it's true. Bulk Nero. I like it. Oh man. Krampus. This is so satisfying. It's missing a bass vibration before it hits. There you go. Krampus. Man. All right. OhmLab, Boke Nero. Whoever you are. Batman. It was really good hearing you again. Thank you. And now we're going to listen to Krampus. Which is blazing. Right on, Boke. We will get there. Absolutely. All right, let's do this. This art, by the way, look at this art. All right, dude, this is great. I love the like dramatic nature of this thing. You went some places here. The horns are super throaty and they come through just fine. And then the other half of that, the big bass, I think it's too big. If you bring that down a good like 10, 12 dB or something like that and run through this again, it should be kind of on par with those horns, right? Lufts wise, peak wise. Also, remove the sub frequencies from any delay and reverb. The slapback that you've got happening on the rhythm stuff is great. The slapback sub frequency isn't, though. It's kind of messing with the mix. 238. This sound effect appears one other spot earlier in the mix as well. This little kind of guy. I'd bring that down a little bit. The resonance is just a little bit too hot, a little too prominent to be brought up to that level. I don't think you really need to worry about the resonance. I think it's just been brought up to a level, a volume that isn't good for it is all. 3 minutes. Again, this is where the bass, that bass when it comes in, that's the one that needs to come down. And I feel like it's kind of your outlier in the mix. You've left that really big, and therefore some other things in the mix have been kind of artificially inflated a bit. Like that tremolo sound effect might have been a byproduct of trying to cut through this aggressive element in the mix, right? So the snare is a good example of something else that will have to be brought down. It right now is up in volume probably to make it over the hurdle of that bass. So you might need to bring a couple of other things down. Just listen with a critical ear after you bring down the bass and let the force guide you. Otherwise very tasty, says Syndromic. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Syndromic. Be right back. Must go raid the kitchen coffee vendor, aka go make my own damn coffee. Somebody get this man a barista. I mean, who doesn't have a barista waiting for them? I make my own damn tea too. Brutality Master. Oh man. Okay, let's listen to this one. What is this one all about? This image, by the way. I am going to tell him. Zendremic needs his own barista. Damn it. I told him. We'll see what good that does. I just waited a month for some people to fix some things for me, man. I don't know. I don't know if you're going to get a barista today, but we'll see. We'll see. Wouldn't it be funny if like a drone just dropped off a barista like on your front doorstep today? Freaking hilarious, man. Yeah, right. Far Horizon is saying that tuning is downright chaotic for the brutality master to enter. Yeah, seriously. Like I'm like, the tuning is telling me something. It's so funny. My kid, when something bad is about to happen, he'll always look at me, be like, making sure that I'm paying attention, that I've heard the music cue alerting us that something bad is about to happen. Sometimes when it's really like ambiguous like this kind of like atonal soup kind of looks at me and he's like, what are we supposed to be feeling right now? Exactly. Unsettled, unsure. Nice work with the tuning, homie. The assault is real. I would say bring the base warfare down a bit. Make sure that the stabs and the other elements, but most especially the stabs, can still cut through the mix. There were a few spots where they mostly kind of disappeared for a few seconds. The compression is part of that, so I would take that big bass out of the track compression that is being or that's present, because when those peaks hit, it's clamping down on everything and it's turning everything in the mix down, right? And it's not those stabs' fault that the bass is so wily, right? So bring the bass out of that mix so those stabs aren't going to be squashed each time the bass does anything. It's just unfair to them. Group projects. What are you going to do? Chromebook. Yeah, that's actually a really good tip, is listening to stuff on different types of devices. Sometimes things become like brazenly apparent on certain types of speakers, and you're like, whoa, I did that? Wow, I did that. I didn't know that was happening. I did that. Yeah, that's a really good idea right there. Yeah, the speakers are so different and you're just hearing it in a completely new way. Yeah. Sometimes you listen to your stuff and you're like, I don't remember having that instrument in there. Do I have strings in this song? And it's like just the way that certain sound is playing through those speakers. Permatemp. It is you. Let's go chase this one. Kwame! Respect the gazelle. Always time for you, Kwame. Good to see you, sexy beast. Permatemp, this is fun. This is, yeah, Corvus with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle dance there. This is spot on, I think. Sub down a little, and also just not so much sub needed on the kick either. I would probably also bring the decay down on that sub for accenting. Like, I'm not sure that it actually is needed for the kick at all, personally. I think that the kick is a good choice. I don't know that it actually needs the sub. But if it is going to be in there, I think that it doesn't need to hang over the tail of the kick. So I would shorten that just a little bit and make it even more punchy. That'd just be me. At 112, I'd bring this little guy up. This is second lowest peak, third lowest peak in the whole track. I think we could get that guy up to about here. I'd bring it up a few more dB. Let him be heard just a little bit. Really nice drop. Love the little turnaround there. I will say, when you've got multiple big shots kind of spouting off at the same time, like these guys over here. These guys. Don't be afraid to be a little bit more bold in both the EQing and also the stereo position of each one of these elements. The more unique profile each one of them has, the more contrast there is between each of the notes, right? In the greater juxtaposition, the more attention there is to the sound design in general, right? People are able to appreciate that these are multiple elements being put together. So find ways in which you can shave out a few extra frequencies here and there to tighten these guys up just a little bit more. Take out the lowest frequencies a bit more out of one of these guys so they don't all have the same kind of thump footprint. That's a really good place to start. Another one might be to accent the higher frequencies of one of them. Probably one that's actually actively modulating through something that's affecting the higher register frequencies. And then that'll help these guys stand out just a little bit more. And, you know, if one of them currently is panned 5 to the right, let's make that 10. And if the other one is panned like 3 to the left, let's make it 7, right? Like just kind of a little bit more separation between each of these elements, and it'll all add up. Otherwise, and these are all super nitpicky kind of mix-oriented things. Otherwise, I think this one feels really good. I like the playful palette. It's upbeat. It's uplifting. It's got a real playful kind of energy to it, which I appreciate. I think the sound design is pretty spot on. I like your modulation play. Yeah. Bring that sub down. It'll help tighten up your mix a little bit too. Martin, what's up? How you doing? Happy hump day. We're here playing catch up. Nano. Let's see what Ben made. Wait, hold on a second. Permatemp is saying, yeah, this was my first time ever designing the sounds for my songs. I'm happy to hear that it was pretty good. You using Serum? What? Okay. First time. It did sound like Serum. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Just judging from the type of music that you're making here and the type of sounds that you ended up making, you might really like the Shapeshifters pack. I don't normally like stop and talk about products in the middle of reviews, but it's from my other label, actually, Sound Freaks. But it's on the OhmLab website. If you go over there, there's you probably really appreciate and like this pack right here. It's got a ton of like highly transformative sounds in there that are very much akin to the type of like energy and character that you're kind of aiming for in all of this. So for what it's worth. Hmm. All right. Far Horizon, you enjoy some food. Martin, you are welcome. Corvus, I totally agree. I think that's a great track. Let's move on to the next one. See what Ben's been doing. Ben, this one was cool. It's very different from what you normally bring. And I think I answered my own question about the sequencing in Serum because you're going to a different key here at one point. So the reason why I ask is I think it would be kind of cool if you did sequence it in Serum, right? You do your note changes in your piano roll, but if you're running through sequences in your LFOs, then you can morph those sequences over time, right? And kind of mess with our perception of them, um, akin to how the layered rhythmic morphine is working in there, right? So if you were to kind of crossfade between sequences just by way of, programming macros to control which sequences controlling which oscillator, it's a pretty easy thing to start doing, right? It's just a multi-track approach to the same thing. And then as you're working on your arrangement in your piano roll, it gives you a little bit more to play with option wise, right? And for interest's sake. Cool little idea here. Yeah, I like this. Far Horizon, the one and only. Back. Oh, good timing. Good timing. Let's do this. This one's called Fleeting Memories. I'm looking forward to this. Oh, blazing. Oh, that sucks. Bouncing you between 160p and the source. I'm sitting here looking. It's like 0.0% dropped frames. 60 frames per second over here. Sorry, homie. Far Horizon. It's great to hear you. Good to hear your textures again. Man, the way the bass hits at 49 seconds, it's like coming home, you know? Feels good. Feels right. 136. Random nature of this muted arpeggio is fantastic. It's like bubbling just under the surface. And at points it kind of disappears and it comes back, and it's sort of really good resting space right now. 209. There have been a couple of different characters that have popped up in the track that I was not expecting their character to be what it is, and they work so well. That's my way of saying this thing is really unique, and I appreciate that. And the vocals, wow, whoa, yeah, it's vocals. 255, the metal Foley you're using is good for the texture, but the timing and tonality feels just a little bit off. What if it gets pitched up a couple or few steps and then it gets nudged over in the timeline just a little bit so it's accenting on the other side of that hit? I think it might feel just a little bit better. I'm not sure. A/B comparison time. Up next, we've got another one from Boca Nero. But before I hit play on that, I'm going to turn the volume back up on this, and I'm going to hit play here. It's just where we left off. I am going to go hit the bathroom, and I'll be right back. I'm back. I'm back. Proxima! Welcome in, homie. How you been? Ha, turned off low latency and it started cooperating. Oh, you gotta love that. Proxima, I'm doing all right. First stream back after being offline for a month because a sewer pipe broke out the street, under the street, 10 feet down, a property over, and dang. But I'm back. Stressed, but got some neat opportunities coming up. Oh, that's good. Yeah, it is an absolute nightmare. Oh. You think life is disrupted when things go awry, but when you have child in tow and things go awry, that's what disruption really is. If it works, it works, but I just think it's my computer because it's only the stream doing it. The rest of Twitch seems fine. Oh, really? Huh. Anybody else having issues with the stream? Book Nero. You're up. Oh, what am I doing? Start that. All right. One's called Transcendence. More Lotus House. Should be tasty. It's off the new album that OhmLab is just dropping here.
You don't have to do this anymore. This message wasn't meant for you.
This isn't your fight. You gave everything, and then they pushed you out. Why would you go back?
Yeah, our lab. This is another really, really fantastic one. There's a string run that's out of key in there. Not sure if it's intentional or not. The clarity throughout this mix, like you can hear it on the very first sample, um, but then immediately following, you can tell just the quality of the mix is absolutely fantastic. You've spent so much time with your EQs, and I appreciate you doing it. Seriously, it's really rock solid. Rock solid. Blazing can hear. Always sucks when you got stuff going on with the computer that you can't. All right, Ika, this is fantastic. Starkler, welcome in. Happy hump day to you. Um, I mean, the mood is just set so beautifully right out the gates. I think the main vocal, when it hits at 25 seconds, I think can be up just a touch more. The transition there is a lovely one, but it leaves me feeling as though the intro presence was almost greater than um, the main event, and it obviously just shouldn't be that way. So 48 seconds. I feel like this whole menagerie here just feels so fantastic. I just want a super tasty saturation finish on the entire track, just to glue it all together and bring out details and harmonics up to the surface of this thing. It feels so good. Yeah, I just want every last little dust mote to be felt in this thing. 159, this heavy breathing. It'd be really dope to just sync the whole track to it. So as it's happening, the whole track is getting louder and quieter, right? Just imagine that. Like, talk about being in your head. And also these saws here at the end, the kind of pulses here. Those guys, they might need to go down just a couple of dB when everything gets louder. Just because saws are pointy and they might poke out just a bit. Far Horizon says, careful with the pianos. And Drumick says, I'd bring the kick center and throw more bass to the sides, but that's personal taste thing. Really love the vibes of this one, and Drumick says. Far Horizon says, so that was masterful, so good. I agree. Aspect says, piano feels like to me that there's a slight delay to when the sample is played from when the note is hit, like the transient of the note being hit isn't lining up where I'm expecting. Yeah, I think that time is being manipulated in this one, and that's part of the character of the whole track. I think that's a beautiful thing. Yeah, pianos are very touchy. Let's see what you did there. Yeah, I really enjoy this one. It's got character. Syndromic says, Blazing Beat stream is 100% clean for me today. No lag, stutters, or any other issues. Yeah, I'm showing no dropped frames today or anything like that. It's been 60 frames per second all day. Aspect. Let's do this. This one's called Returning Home. I know, Blazin'. I'm just rubbing it in, man. No, I'm just kidding. Aspect, this is really fun. I really, really enjoy this. As someone who makes a lot of stuff for screen specifically, and then constantly finding ways to build those things in architecturally into music, is fun, right? It's a challenge, but it's also really, really like satisfying and rewarding when you do it right. And I think you're kind of knocking on something here. Um, and it's really, really close to being done too. It'd be great if there was a little less loudness being achieved through limiting and a little bit more through saturation, right? So it's not necessarily about something being loud, it's more about it being present, right? And if something is sitting so perfectly in a mix that it feels as though it just fits, um, then you've found the balance, right? It's not feeling forced, and it's also not feeling held back or obscured or obfuscated in any way, right? So I think you've got just a little bit of a balance issue in this one, with the loudness being just a little bit too loud, and a couple of the elements being out of balance volume wise. And I think the sound design elements that are introduced in the second half of this that are keeping rhythm and pace for us, I think they're super cool, and I also think they can be brought down just a bit. There's also a little bit too much low end impact in them when they're hitting the transients and the scrapes. We're feeling that push and pull the mix just a little bit too much. So if you round off those lowest frequencies, you'll lose that low end impact and you'll keep all of the surface texture, right? So you keep all of the cool ice, stone, scrape, finish appeal, but you're not going to have the oomph that comes with it each and every time. And I think that's probably kind of an important thing to maintain the aesthetic and the mood and everything that you've created leading up to that moment, right? Just for continuity's sake. The other thing is that you've created a lot of environmental context for us through the use of these specific thematic sounds, right? But what we could also really use is the actual environment, right? The air. So bringing in some atmosphere is easily done. You can take some crunchy snow, ice type texture, right? Um, it could be styrofoam being slowly scraped against styrofoam or cardboard, or it could be cellophane, right? That's being slowly kind of roughed and wrangled under like a blanket or something like that, right? And then just put that through a big reverb, right? Take out a bunch of the low end, give yourself some nice custom air that says cold, frigid, frozen, right? And then put us into that, right? And then using a little bit more saturation instead of limiting to bring up more nuanced details in the mix and in individual sounds, like that combined with that layer of atmosphere is going to give you that ethereal cold, that you're trying to hint at when you're pushing the levels of those higher frequencies. So I think all of this is like so super close. So listen with a really, really critical ear, especially around the sound design elements, and try and get them to just blend rather than impress. Okay, because really their function is architectural, right, and environmental. Um, so they need to be in line with, not dominate, basically. Yeah. So let's see what the chat says here. So Drumic says, "What is happening?" Proxima says, "The sound design is positive." Cronenbergen. Bergen? Maybe. Yeah, people are liking this. Starkler says, "Sounds like Minecraft." Ah. Is that a ship mast that's squeaking? Asks Far Horizon. From out on sea, the wood makes weird noises under pressure. That's true, it really does. Yeah, the sub frequencies often hide in Foley recordings for sure. Hmm. Aspect says there's a big opportunity for sound effects like that at the end where all the sound design drops out and the piano motif comes in. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely there is. Yeah. Boke, you are welcome, of course. And great track, by the way. I'm liking the whole album so far. Both tracks. Um, oh, well, there you go. Aspect says Minecraft is my favorite game ever, so that makes sense that it inspired me. Yeah, absolutely. That stuff seeps in, right? Absolutely. All right, Kwame, the one and only. Hope you're doing well over there. I know, I'm always hyped for Kwame's track. He is a talented MF, isn't he? Hey, really quick before we get into this, how are things? When last I saw you, and I've been offline for a month, and I'm trying to remember when it was I last caught up with you because I was offline for a few weeks prior to that with my mother's passing, but you were like going to meet the lady's family, right? Right? Things good? Anyway, sending you love. Gonna listen. Hope you're well. Ooh. Oh! Okay, so the perks in this throughout all felt just a touch pointy. They're all snappy, like they're all serving their purpose. They're all working. But I do wonder what it would feel like if you had just like a super gentle um, cue, super gentle over the top, just like a 6 dB. You know, it's just something that kind of shaves off just a little bit of those highest frequencies on those perks. It might be interesting just to hear an A/B comparison, keeping the same exact sounds and everything, and just shaving just a little bit of that presence off the top and seeing what it feels like. Um, Something tells me it might fit just a little a little bit more completely more in the pocket, so to speak. Doing it now. Thank you, Far Horizon. Thank you, Kwame. Oh, yes, Boke. Yeah, so I was offline 2 separate times recently, which is why all the absence. One, I was sitting with my mother as she has recently died, and it took some time for all of that to actually happen. So I was offline for a few weeks there, and then right upon coming back, basically. I mean, I was back for what, like a stream or something, and then the poopocalypse happened. So that's the timeline there. Centremic. Remind Santa that I'm still waiting for my castle, like a real castle, not the toy one he sent me last time. Oh, that's real. I feel that. I think this is good for a debut release. I do. I like this one, dude. It's got flow. I mean, it has it's got a really good feel. The guitar's nice and floaty. I mean, come on. It makes you want to do things and makes you feel good all at the same time. Come on. That's some good stuff. Yeah, one stream. Yep. Yeah, I know, exactly. And then before that, I was like, oh man, I miss these guys so much, right? So during that period of time, I was like at the hospital during visiting hours, right? So I'd like drop the kid off at school at, 7 or whatever, and then get to the hospital, and then I'd be there until like 9 something at night. So then like the random day where I had this little bit of daylight time, they were doing stuff in the room, like servicing the room and stuff, and I got out of there for a little bit and went and walked around in the woods, and I tried to stream from there and say hi to you guys, and there was just like no reception out in the woods. Imagine that. Yeah, those were my 2 attempts to reconnect with you guys during this couple of months. Should have been more specific about the castle. Yeah, these are the things that you learn after the fact, though. Like you wish you could see the fine print, the 2020 hindsight up front when you visit Santa. Oh, Proxima says really amazing drum grooves, as always. Kwame. Ooh. Getting K-Tronda. K-Tronada vibes. There we go. Gotta speak. All right, Proxima. Moving speakers is helping too. Slowly solving the problem. Oh, wait, hold on. Proxima says, I have an opportunity to demo this at a local techno label, and I want to see if it's sounding ready to be sent, if you're willing to provide your take. Techno label here in Portland? Sweet. want to go back and listen to something new. Okay, there's a couple of things I'd point out here. One is that this section right here feels a bit overblown. It feels almost like it's been, and it hasn't been. I can see that the peaks are not doing this, but it almost feels like it's been normalized here or something. Like the limiting has been turned up, and without the louder elements here in the mix, it's the, you know, lesser heard elements being amplified more. So this felt a little bit disjointed. It's just got some resonance in there as a byproduct of the volume being pushed up, so you might want to sweep it for some resonance, and then that'll help that section, I think. Okay, the other one is this guy right here. This screechy guy, you'll probably bring him down just a little bit. I love all the jazz hand stuff at the end. So good. It's very fancy. Fancy dancy. This was like, it's the kind of track that surprises you like 3 or 4 times as it's playing. You know what I mean? There's some filtering tied to sequence gates in there that run through an overdrive to give that distorted tone, but I need to tamp down the resonant parts. Yeah, that's probably all it is. And then I also saw Starkler mention something about mono. Eclipsia, welcome in. Queue is open. Let me just see how many we have. Yes, do it. And then I should probably wrap up after that, because I'm going to go pick up the kid and take him to go see Santa. Resonance is usually always in 600 hertz if you're eyeing it. EQ, hate autocorrect. Is it Starkiller, not Starkler? I'm like reading it in the in Twitch. For some reason, it looks one way to me in blue font, and then when I see it over here in white font, I'm like, huh, is that Killer? Translates differently. Man. This image. All the James Webb stuff is so wild. It is by my side, James Webb Appreciation. That's what we're calling this one. Proxima, you are welcome. You are welcome. Appreciate you too. Ooh, we got to watch it being built. Nice. Okay, Starkiller. There's a couple of things in this that I think if you cleared them up, this thing's just downright lovely. The bass. The bass should come down. Well, I'm saying it's 7 dB, but I'm telling you right now, as soon as you cut out the sub from it, which you're going to need to do a little bit, and I'd say probably around 50 hertz, 55 hertz, 12 dB per octave curve, it's probably going to make the presence jump way up. It's going to redistribute that energy, and your bass is going to sound much more on top of the mix. So it might be as much as 9 or maybe even 10 dB at the end of the day. Sub in the track in general, just this, the sine wave sub in there, down 8 dB. Less sub in the kick drum channel as well. Put the cutoff at around 60 hertz, 12 dB per octave. You should only ever really have one true source of sub frequencies coming in under a certain point in your mix. Okay, so if you've got like a naked sine wave as a sub agent in your mix, then remove the lowest frequencies from everything else in your mix for that sine to actually operate well in your mix, right? Otherwise, it's going to become obfuscated very quickly, and they're going to be combative with one another. It's not going to be something that is like this harmonious relationship. They'll just kind of counter each other, and things get muddy and suck energy and stuff like that. So resonance from these mallet strikes that are happening around 223. There was also just a little bit of something that I caught earlier, but I was typing, and I'm not sure if it was the same thing or not, but it was probably 20 seconds prior. It felt similar. Two things here. Remove resonance and EQ the lows and highs down a bit with shelves. You don't actually need to cut those frequencies away entirely, but just mute the highs and lows a bit, and also remove the resonance. And then reduce by about 4 dB or so, and then move to the right just a little bit more. So it has a little bit more of its own little space in the mix. And I think this whole thing starts to feel a bit more open and airy and ethereal, because it's not going to have this added weight and conflict in the sub frequencies, which actually affects all the way up into the, like all the way up to like 1K, honestly, like in the clarity of this track right now. So that and the impact that's coming from the kick drum, which is just, it's something that's distracting, right? You're kind of floating, but this kick is kind of grounding you each time it's happening. So you might even want to roll that up to about 80 hertz, as long as it's a 12 dB per octave curve. And you've also still got other elements with sub bass in it. I don't think you're really going to miss the deep down from that kick. And I think that's it. Boke Nero has got another one. And I'm just going to put a note here. I bet there's probably even there's a Santa. Okay, so let's listen to this one from Boke. This is another one off the new album. Except for if you're looking for it out there, it's going to be under the artist name OhmLab. And this is some a little more Lotus, a little more garage here. Boke says, I sent this to Garage Shared. No response for 4 months. So I was like, meh, I'm putting this on my album. You know what I keep thinking? I keep thinking, it's not even Feedback Friday. We still have a whole nother day of this week. Isn't that great? It's like Christmas came early or something. Man. OhmLab, this is lovely. So far, your album kicks ass. I think it's a technical term that engineers use mostly. This is really good, dude. This one feels just a little bit more loose down low. I'm chalking that one up to the collab status on this one. And these little stutters throughout, these tiny little stutter notes. Hmm. 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 Royvex helped a lot on this one, huh? Okay. Skew, welcome in. Happy hump day. Saying, I felt like that one lead was a bit bright and dry, but it's definitely a preference thing. This one felt, you can definitely feel the presence of another person in this track compared to your other stuff. I'm not saying it's like a good or a bad thing. I'm just saying it's you can tell someone else has been in the house. You know what I'm saying? Blazing saying, I miss Roy Vexy. Roy Vex still active, also makes music for the game that I'm working on, Heroes Battlegrounds. Hey, look at that. Small world. Small world. All right. Clipsia. Great name, by the way. The Taboo Love. First hour. Ooh, I like that. I like that qualifier. That qualifier. First hour. Clipsia says, I'm making song after a long time. Low key forgot the techniques. This is what I made an hour ago. All right. Let's check it. Okay. One, I really like this. Two, I really appreciate you leaving the sample clips in the sample cut clips in this flute loop. Three, I said flute loop. Three, I think some vinyl cuts would be an absolutely lovely addition to this. if you're unfamiliar with it, it's a technique where scratches are intentionally cut into vinyl, and then that is played back. It's like a blank record, and so it's just the texture skips, right? And it's rhythmic because it's running at an RPM. So that would be really great. And if not vinyl cutting, then just really minimal, preferably analog type sound over something digital for this, but something really, 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 really tiny. The surface texture of the bass is just fantastic. The clicks on the flute loop also just really stand out as one of these kind of surface level details. So having one more thing in there between those two big bookends, I think would really kind of seal the deal on this one, honestly. Aside from that, I like the kind of raw nature of this one as is. So I hope that it isn't fiddled with too much more, honestly. And it's good knowing that this is something that you're coming back to and kind of like shaking off the dust, forgetting how it all works, trying to make it work. Yeah, I like the what's the right word for it? There's a boom to this. There's kind of like a boomy nature to this. I kind of like that. It's got a somewhat kind of driven appeal to the body of the sound itself. I think it kind of fits in here, mostly because of the surface texture on that bass, honestly. I think that's it. Got to go pick up the kid from school and take him to go see Santa. And we're going to do this again in 2 days' time on Feedback Friday, like for real this time. Not on a Wednesday feedback, but a for real Friday feedback kind of thing. That's our plan. That's our plan anyway. Where were we in this? I think we were like over here somewhere. I'll leave some background music on. We wrap up here. A couple of things. When we meet on Friday, I am going to show off whatever Tom has made on his Echo Forge channel. If you guys have not done so yet, check out the Discord. Where's the Discord here? On the main public lounge page, there are somewhere over here. I'm sorry for all of the whining and complaining about my situation here on the main page here. But somewhere up here is some videos. Here's one from Tom. There's another one. Click through to this. Go like his page. Follow him. We're going to help him build a following. He's got so much freaking knowledge to share. It's ridiculous. So we're going to do that on Friday. We're also going to be listening to whatever you make between now and Friday. So go make some stuff. That's what we got to do. Corvus, yeah. Oh, wait. Hold on. Is it Serwin or Kerwin? I'm not sure if I ever got an answer, Corvus. And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year in advance to you as well, Eclipsia, however you might celebrate the season, everyone. Let's, I'm going to reload this page over here, and we're going to see who's up right now. It's been a while since we've had an opportunity to raid someone in the fam. So, let's see who's up. Oh, man. Decisions. Okay, so we've got E-Town. Ooh, we got a lot of people at Shoe's house right now. He's doing fine. Let's go visit E-Town right now. These guys are so fantastic. Stick around for this. We're going to go raid E-Town, and hopefully it's going to be a really good time. I appreciate you guys. Enjoy your hump day. Stay inspired. Make something really awesome, and I'll see you again on Friday. Show up early and drop your stuff early so we can hear you, because I have a feeling it's probably going to be busy because we haven't had many lately. I'll see you guys on the flip. Peace out. Big love.